Hey, tell them son of a bitches up there that if I go one more fucking time and this thing don't work, I'm gonna grab their fucking asses. I'm fucking tired of this shit.
We're ready. We're ready, Tommy.
Hey, I gotta get ready now. I gotta get in the right fucking frame of mind.
Think good thoughts.
Fucking assholes.
Think about last October.
I'd like to be buried under the pitcher's mound. And when some little old left-hander's out there struggling, he'll hear a voice. Slow down, son. Concentrate. You can do it. You gotta believe in yourself. And he'll look around. Someone's talking to me. Where? Who's this guy talking to me? It'll be Tom Lasorda underneath that pitching mound, telling him to slow down. You can do it.
Oh, breaking news. Tommy Lasorda, Dodgers icon. R.I.P. Tommy. Damn. This motherfucker was a baseball icon and legend. Take a sip for Tommy. No, yo, let me. All-Star game bat toss at third base. He took the tumble. Yo.
Oh, shattered bat, and it catches Tommy Lasorda, who's coaching in the third base coach's box. He pops right back up, and he's all right.
Tommy saying, I'm all right. Of course I'm all right. Didn't hurt me.
He gets a 9-8 for this. And thank goodness that he's all right.
Didn't hurt me.
Let's run some Lasorda best of. Because, you know, that's what you're going to be seeing for a few while, so I'm going to get on the train, man. R.I.P. Tommy Lasorda. Holy fuck. Baseball legend.
Down through the years, the young men came west to play the game.
Thought there was an altercation going on
in
over there.
Dodger blue.
Peace.
Today, baseball said goodbye to one of its most endearing legends. Longtime Los Angeles Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda died today at the age of 93.
News 8's Tim Blodgett recaps his legacy and what he meant for the game of baseball.
As a player, manager, and face of the Los Angeles Dodgers for decades, Tommy Lasorda has cemented his place in baseball history. And today, we remember a man whose on and off the field personality was of Hall of Fame quality. For 20 years, 3,000 games, and 2 World Series, Hall of Fame Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda was one of the most recognizable figures in the game.
Well, what do you think I should do? Take him out or leave him in? All right, I'm going to take him in.
Known for his colorful personality, the artful Dodger was known to have boundless charisma and was always good for a quote after the game.
He said Tom Lasorda is the finest manager he's ever played.
I called him the P.T. Barnum of baseball one day. He says, what do you mean by that? Is Tommy, the baseball world's one big top, and you're inside, you're orchestrating it.
Lasorda was known as a player's coach, and as former player and MVP Steve Garvey says, the relationship could run deeper than just player-manager.
Like for me, he was like a second father. For somebody else, it might be an older brother. Somebody else, it might be a mentor. Somebody else, a master sergeant, so to speak.
Lasorda was Dodgers faithful until the day he died. You could often see him in the front row of Dodger Stadium. He was even present for the 2020 Dodgers World Series win in Texas, 22 years after the last World Series win under Lasorda.
Nobody thought we could beat the team who won 104 games.
It was a fitting way to go out. You know, he had won world championships, but he's always been the godfather in and around the stadium.
If you don't love the game, you should go out and get a new job.
Lasorda will be remembered as a fierce competitor with a sharp wit. He loved the spotlight, but he loved the Dodgers and the game of baseball even more.
When I die, I want my wife to put the Dodger home schedule on this tombstone. And when the people are in the cemetery visiting their loved ones, they'll say, let's go to Lasorda's grave to find out if the Dodgers are playing at home or on the road. Say, I bleed Dodger blue.
It's impossible to love anything as much as Tommy Lasorda loved the Dodgers.
When I die, I want my wife to put the Dodger home schedule on this tombstone. And when the people are in the cemetery visiting their loved ones, they'll say, let's go to Lasorda's grave to find out if the Dodgers are playing at home or on the road. Now that is pride in the organization that you work for.
Is it any wonder many called Tommy baseball's greatest ambassador?
If you don't love the game, you should go out and get a new job.
His managerial credits alone entrenched Lasorda's legacy in baseball, but it was his charisma and personality that will forever leave a mark on the game.
Tommy Lasorda is an incredible guy in the sense that there are about 2 or 3 or 4 Tommy Lasordas. There's a funny Tommy Lasorda.
He said Tom Lasorda is the finest manager he's ever played.
Tommy Lasorda who can be very mean.
I don't give a.
And there's also the Tommy Lasorda that can just send tears down your face.
Everybody works so hard all year long. I love them. This is the only place to be.
Tommy sure did love his players, all of them.
A person walked up to me, and a writer, and he said, Tommy, if you could pick anybody, if you could start a major league club and you could have the pick of anybody anywhere in the big leagues to start the team, who would you take? And I, without any hesitation, I said Eric Davis. I didn't even hesitate. I said Darryl Strawberry, Mike Socia, Gibson, Steve Garvey.
Lasorda always had a funny way of finding the spotlight.
Oh, look at this. They're going to bring him, what, a jacket? No, it's a chest protector. A chest protector.
And he had a unique relationship with umpires as well.
Did you give me any time to come out here? I mean, this is the World Series. You got to give me a little time.
You want the left-hander or the
Which one would you bring in, Dutch, if you were the manager of the club?
right-hander.
Well, I'm bringing in the left-hander. What do you think I should do, take him out or leave him in? All right, I'm going to take him in.
That's Tommy. I mean, there's only one Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy Lasorda, the artful Dodger, the Hall of Fame manager, and one of the game's most beloved characters, has passed away. In his 14 years as a left-handed pitcher, Tom Lasorda spent parts of 3 seasons in the majors, going 0-4 in 26 games with the Brooklyn Dodgers and Kansas City Athletics. Immediately following his playing career, Lasorda became a scout for the Dodgers, but it was in the dugout, not the stands, where Tommy longed to be. He was given that opportunity in 1965, becoming a minor league manager in the Dodgers organization.
Hey, stick him up. Let's have some life now.
We all played for him in the minor leagues, so we were his father and son. He knew when to pat you on the back.
Attaboy, Peggy! Way to go! Hey!
But he also knew when to spank you, so to speak.
I'll tell you one, you ought to have your head examined.
Tommy, very outspoken.
Come on, big guy, let's go!
Very aggressive.
Come on, guys! Come on, Peggy!
Very good motivating young players.
When you leave the batter's box, you got to want 2. And on a double, you got to want a triple.
His love for the game is what I learned from Tommy. You know, tremendous passion for the game.
In '73, Lasorda took that eagerness to the big leagues, serving on Walter Alston's staff for 4 years. And of course, he did so with unbridled enthusiasm.
He may have struck Say out, but he will not get Russell out, because I believe that you can hit this left-hander.
After the '76 season, Lasorda was named to replace Alston as skipper of the Dodgers.
This is the greatest day of my life in baseball. To be selected as the manager of an organization that I love so dearly.
It was a perfect match. Lasorda had his dream job, and the Dodgers had a field general with bottomless passion and positivity.
He was gifted with boundless enthusiasm. It is not phony. It is not fake.
I knew he was due! Oh, yeah!
Tommy's first act as manager was to convert the training room into his office. Lasorda ordered carpeting, a color TV, a sofa, and a beer dispenser. Anything he could do to lure in an audience. Tommy loved the attention. And of course, the food.
I'll throw lockers, but I will never, ever throw a particle of food away.
His loose style off the field translated into wins on the field, and Lasorda led the '81 Dodgers to a World Series championship.
The Dodgers are the 1981 champions of baseball.
Manager of the Year!
Lasorda was named National League Manager of the Year in 1988 after leading an undermanned Dodger team against the Oakland A's in the World Series.
And with 2 out, you talk about a roll of the dice. This is it. High fly ball into right field. She is gone!
Nobody thought we could win this division. Nobody thought we could beat the Mighty Mets. Nobody thought we could beat the team who won 104 games. Nobody believes it.
After 1,599 career wins, all with the Dodgers, Lasorda stepped down as manager in 1996 to become vice president of the team. The following year, he was elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility.
This is the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my lifetime. And I feel that it won't be too long that my mother will be shaking me and saying, "Wake up, Tommy. It's time to go to school. I am living a dream." Thank you.
Tommy Lasorda remained prominent in baseball for the rest of his life. Baseball has indeed lost one of its biggest personalities and greatest enthusiasts.
When I pass on, I want this on my tombstone. Dodger Stadium was his address, but every ballpark was his home. And he loved the game of baseball. I loved it every minute. I never wanted to see the season end. It was amazing.
I can hear the clouds thundering, and I can look up in the sky, and I can see it now. The bony left finger of Tommy Lasorda coming down from heaven. I told you there was a big Dodger in the sky. We laugh and we cry and we mourn today the passing of the man who represented the Dodgers more than anyone in Dodger history. Tommy Lasorda was the Dodgers. He loved them more than anyone else. He worked for them nearly as long as anyone else. He was a tremendous, tremendous manager in the dugout, led him to 2 world championships. Also the best ambassador the sport has ever known. He spread the gospel of the Dodgers throughout the world. He was at one point the most famous baseball personality in the world. You talk about people bleeding Dodger blue, Tommy was the one who invented that. Talk about people saying, if you don't believe in the Dodgers or don't love the Dodgers, you won't go to heaven. Well, that's on Tommy Lasorda's answer machine. Tommy Lasorda loved the team beyond all reason. He was symbolic of the cheerleading spirit that became the Dodgers. He made the Dodgers a brand. He made the Dodgers family. He made the Dodgers beloved, just not in the community, but throughout the world. He was symbolic of the organization with all of his bluster, with all of his smarts, with all of his charisma, with all of his Hollywood. And who can forget 1988?
High fly ball into right field. She is gone!
Most unlikely team ever to win a world championship. The last Dodger team to win a world championship. Tommy Lasorda running onto the field, arms raised into the air, arms raised to that big Dodger in the sky where surely he sits today. Tommy Lasorda, the Dodger, rest in peace.
If Vin Scully is the eternal voice of the Dodgers, then Tommy Lasorda is the team's soul. Thomas Charles Lasorda was born in 1927 in the small town of Norristown, Pennsylvania. He was the second of 5 sons. His parents were working-class immigrants from Italy. Lasorda began his pitching career with the Philadelphia Phillies when he was 18. Later, he signed with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And after piling up wins in the minors, Lasorda was called up to the big leagues in 1954. But Tommy's major league career never took off. In 1956, Lasorda was sent back down to the minors to make room for another young left-handed pitcher by the name of Sandy Koufax. After Tommy's playing career ended, he moved into coaching and spent 12 years in the minors. In 1973, Lasorda got back to the show, this time as the LA Dodgers third base coach. His love for the game was infectious. When Walter Alston retired in 1976, Lasorda became the 4th skipper in team history. For the next 20 years, Lasorda would define Dodger baseball. Players loved Lasorda's positive, upbeat style. But make no mistake, Tommy hated to lose. This now famous rant took place in his office after Dave Kingman of the Cubs hit 3 home runs to beat L.A. in 1978.
What's my opinion of Kingman's performance? What the you think is my opinion of it? I think it was horse.
Lasorda was colorful and popular, but most of all, he won. In 1977 and 78, his teams won the National League pennant, only to be thwarted in the World Series by the Yankees. But in 1981, Lasorda's club finally broke through. Led by rookie phenom Fernando Valenzuela, the Dodgers beat the Yankees in 6 games to win the team's first championship in 16 years.
Great victory. This is something that has escaped us for a long time.
In 1988, Lasorda led the Dodgers back to the World Series with a ragtag squad many picked to get steamrolled by the mighty Oakland A's. In Game 1, the Dodgers were down by a run in the bottom of the 9th. With a man on, Tommy played a hunch and sent in uninjured Kirk Gibson to the plate.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone!
Tommy's gamble led to one of the greatest moments in sports history and propelled the Dodgers to another world championship. After his final World Series triumph, Tommy would manage the Dodgers until his retirement in 1996. During his tenure, he compiled 1,599 wins, securing his spot in the Baseball Hall of Fame. While his time as manager was over, Lasorda remained in the front office for the rest of his life. Just before his passing, his beloved Dodgers gave him one last gift. The 2020 team finally broke through and won their first World Series title since 1988.
And I loved it every minute. I never wanted to see the season end. It was amazing.
You give me a sign, Red, when I get out there. I'll mess around for some time. Okay? Fuck no. He can't get them fucking left-handers out, for Christ, oh fucking mighty.
Jackson gets jammed on a fucking ball.
Feel good, Tommy. I don't give a shit you feel good. There's 4 motherfucking hits up there.
They all fucking hit the opposite way.
I don't give a fuck.
Tommy, you got a left-hander here. I can strike this motherfucker
I don't
out.
give a shit, Dougie. Well, I may be wrong, but that's my goddamn job. I'll make the fucking decisions here. I'll make the fucking decisions here, okay?
Like there were 3 runs on the fucking board yesterday.
I don't give a fuck.
Hey, Tommy,
don't give me any shit, goddammit. I'll make the fucking decisions. Keep your fucking mouth shut. I told you.
It's bad up here, man. It's back on the mound. You want to talk about it, talk about it.
You talk about it in my fucking office.
And I wouldn't say I'm just saying talk about it inside. This is not the place to be talking about it. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say. Jump on me. Just trying to pour the fucking steam out. That's all.
That's right. It's fucking great for you to be standing out here talking to me like that.
I don't feel good. I wouldn't say
I don't give a shit, Doug. I'm the fucking manager of the fucking team. I got to make the fucking decisions. And I'll make them to the fucking best of my ability. It may be the fucking wrong decision, but I'll make it. Don't worry about it. I'll make the fucking decisions. I gave you a fucking chance to walk out here. I can't fuck around. We're down 2 games to 1. If it was yesterday, it's a different fucking story. I don't give a shit. You got three left-hand hitters, and they all got fucking hits on you. Rivers, Jackson, and the fucking other guy. They all got left-hand. They all hit. That guy that just hit the ball was a left-hander, wasn't he?
Hi, guys. Yeah, well, the rivalry, if you want to call it that, between Kurt Bavacqua of the San Diego Padres and Tommy Lasorda, the manager of the Dodgers, really reached its peak in the early 1980s, so it's been a little while. But man, did the two have some moments together, ones that well documented on YouTube at this point.
Tell you what I think about it. I think that is very, very bad for that man to make an accusation like that. That is terrible. I have never, ever, since I've managed, ever told a pitcher to throw at anybody, nor will I ever. And if I ever did, I certainly wouldn't make him throw at a fucking 130 hitter like LaFay or fucking Bavacqua, who could hit water if he fell out of a fucking boat. And I guarantee you this, when I pitched and I was going to pitch against a fucking team that had guys on it like Bavacqua, I sent a fucking limousine to get the cocksucker to make sure he was in the motherfucking lineup, because I kicked that cocksucker's ass any fucking day of the week. He's a fucking motherfucking big mouth, I'll tell you that.
To see the two didn't appear to like each other very much, though Bavacqua tells us today it's not entirely the case.
If you're a die-hard Padre fan, you know the name Kurt Bavacqua. Played for the Padres back in the early 1980s. Dodger manager Tommy Lasorda certainly remembered him too.
There was never hate, at least on my part, and I don't think there was hate on Tommy's part either. You know, disdain maybe.
The two getting into a famous back-and-forth confrontation in 1982 after the Padres rallied to beat the Dodgers. Bavacqua says the Dodger pitcher at the time then hit a Padre player with an intentional pitch. He blamed the manager, Lasorda, for it, calling on him to be fined and calling him a fat little expletive. Lasorda famously denied the allegation, said they had no need to intentionally hit the player because, quote, they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat.
Yeah, that was a good one. And when he said he bled Dodger blue, he did. And he's the kind of guy that you can't stand when you're on the opposite side of the field. But when you're on the same side of the field, you love him.
Lasorda famously mixed it up with a handful of mascots, too. Lasorda and Bavacqua both eventually walked away from the game, occasionally staying in touch.
And I said, Ms. Lasorda, this is Kurt Bavacqua, is Tommy available? And it was kind of like, she muffles the phone, what's he doing calling here? That was the best one. That's the best one, because evidently either he brought some of that disdain home, or she was right there when everything happened, or she got, you know, compromised with all the stories and all of that stuff. But I found that to be quite funny. Tommy was a good man. He was a good man, and he's going to be missed. I mean, let's face it, Tommy Lasorda is an icon in baseball. The world of baseball lost a great ambassador today.
You know, all of this stuff that went down between me, I say went down, all the stuff that was reported between him and I, you know, I sat back and enjoyed every second of it. I mean, hearing that audio tape and seeing different people's rendition of it and being asked all the time about it. I mean, it was a kick. Couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. I mean, that's a great quote. I loved it.
Well, there were a couple he dropped a couple of F-bombs in there too, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tommy could do that. You know, I wish that managers back in the day, you know, the Weavers and the Dick Williams and Billy Martins and Tommy Lasordas of the world, boy, I wish they were mic'd. You know, he was just too special to a lot of the players that played for him.
Yeah.
So, you know, my sympathies go out to Dodger Nation, all the people that knew and loved him. You know, it's a tough day. He did live to be 93. I'll take 93 right now and be pretty happy.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good life he led. He did things that he loved, and he loved to do. And it was a hell of a career.
Obviously, a lot of reaction around baseball among current players regarding the passing of Tommy Lasorda. This from free agent infielder and outfielder Kike Hernandez. Rest in peace, Tommy. We'll never forget all the great conversations, the memories, the stories. Last couple of years, I'd look forward to 6 p.m. before every home game, getting to talk to you for 5 to 10 minutes. Always made my day. We will all miss you, Tommy. That from Kike Hernandez. Here now, sampling of the reaction on the passing of Tommy Lasorda from Friday on MLB Network.
Tom Lasorda passing away yesterday, the Hall of Famer, who had been the oldest living Hall of Famer, gone at the age of 93.
One of the great characters in the history of sports. He always had a bounce in his step. He was always optimistic.
The world revolved around Tommy when he was in the room. He'll be dearly missed.
He loved you, cared about you for who you were and not what you look like or what you believe. That was just him. And that's the special thing and what we're going to miss about Tommy Lasorda.
When you were around him, you could feel the energy. He had a love of life. I mean, that's what you feel.
He bled Dodger blue, that was real. He bled baseball, that was real. A wonderful ambassador.
He was larger than life. He was bigger than he was the Dodgers.
71 years in an organization, 93 years old, 20 years as a manager. I mean, when you think Dodger blue, you thought Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy loved the Dodgers. He loved baseball. This year, he was there in Texas, and that's one of my proudest moments that we got to fulfill one of his dreams.
And what stands out to me still, Brian, to this day, is the 1988 playoff run to the World Series title, the Gibson home run, but really the fact that that team was an overachieving type of club that was fueled by his positiveness, his positivity.
When I think about why I achieved success, it's hard, but you know, it was because of what he committed into my life and then did not let you let up from it on a daily basis. You're talking about a person that is one of a kind. And to play for Tommy Lasorda, it was a one-of-a-kind experience. The stories are endless.
I was right in the front row, but obviously Vlad let the bat go, and then Tommy just flat out yard sale right there. And Zimmer's like, you serious? Just some athleticism. You know, we're both older guys, but clean it up. So Tommy comes over. Tommy's a funny guy. Like, he always has the best stories. I can't remember exactly what he said, but whatever he said was really funny at the time. I was just like, oh yeah, I can't believe I'm here at the All-Star game. It's pretty awesome.
He was so much more than the guy that you hear about in the uniform bleeding Dodger blue. He meant so much to so many people. And this was a guy who made you feel special.
Tommy knew what it was like to be on the softer side of things. He knew about people's feelings, and he knew that I was going to battle through this if I was just given an opportunity to do it. And through the grace of God and a lot of hard work and the backing of Tommy, I was able to gut through that and went on to play another 14 years in the big leagues. So thankfully, I had him as my manager.
And he decides, well, let's go watch Alex play baseball. So we go to the Little League field and we have our game. And I just remember, like, playing in the middle of the game, there's a huge line of fans and people that were there, and realized, oh, Tommy Lasorda is watching this Little League game at a Little League park. And sure enough, he spent the whole day signing autographs. But at the same time, every time I came up to bat, he made sure he made everyone stop so he could watch me hit.
I really got the feeling that the way you knew in America that it was an authentic Italian restaurant was they had 3 pictures on the wall. They had the Pope, they had the Frank Sinatra, and they had Tommy Lasorda. That's how you knew it was a real Italian restaurant.
The most amazing person that anyone could ever be around, and believe me, he'll never be replaced.
Guys like that, they do live forever, and I mean, he's one of a kind.
I think that we cannot ever forget the love he had for baseball in general, the Dodgers in particular, and you know, win or lose, man, he bled Dodger blue, and just continued to share that passion, that love, and let his legacy live on forever.
So you get out of college, or whatever. You didn't even graduate college, right? You didn't finish.
I graduated junior college, so I have an associate degree.
Okay, so you went there because, like, you bombed out of regular college.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go there, and then I guess someone told me, like, as a favor, somebody let you sort of go.
Tommy Lasorda is really, really close friends with my dad.
What does your dad do?
He's like a car dealer, and you know.
And how does Lasorda know your dad?
They kind of grew up together. They're from Norristown, Pennsylvania, and
he's your godfather, right?
Well, no, actually, he's my little brother. My little brother's godfather.
Okay, so he's close friends of the family.
Real good friends of the family.
So as a favor to your dad, did you say to your dad, "Hey, Dad, can you ask Tommy Lasorda if I can try out?"
Yeah. Well, what happened was, again, I wasn't getting any exposure, any
right?
At all. And Tommy, obviously with his connections, he said, "Well, I'll have the Dodgers draft Mike as a favor, and it looks good on a resume. Like if you go to a school, like I could go to University of Florida,
right?
Be a coach or something.
Yeah, well, they'll say, yeah, you've been drafted by a team, so we'll give you a shot to play.
Oh, I see.
It's kind of like a calling card.
All right, so like you really wanted a shot because you felt, hey, maybe I am a good baseball player.
Yeah, I had the dream.
You had the dream.
Yeah.
But even though you sucked in college, you kind of knew deep inside, like if you put your mind to it, you could be good.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I had some talent because I would go to, knowing Tommy, I would be bat boy and stuff for the Dodgers when I was a kid, and I would hit in batting practice, and I would hit home runs and out of the park, and I'd be like, I can do this like the regular guys.
Were you getting nervous when you played?
Was it a psychological thing?
Yeah, you would get nervous.
Definitely.
So something was holding you back.
Definitely.
Okay, so let me understand something. So Lasorda says to you, all right, kid, because I know your dad, I'll let you try. But meanwhile, Lasorda probably thinks you suck too. And
He's just doing it.
And he's just doing it reluctantly.
Get it out of the way.
He's like, I wish the whole goddamn family would leave me alone with this already, right?
Yeah,
all right.
He's been calling his mark in ever since. So.
Yeah. So he lets you like try out. And you try out, and what do? They put you in like AA baseball or something?
Yeah,
or?
Actually goes rookie ball, A ball, AA, AAA, big leagues. Right. When I finally got a chance to play, they said, okay, hey, you're hanging around here long enough. Either you're going to get one shot to play or you're out of here.
Good.
And then
that's a way to relax you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But then that's funny you mentioned that because I just relaxed. I said, hey, screw it.
I got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Have fun. And I hit 29 home runs in A ball in Bakersfield.
So does Lasorda call you up and go, hey, maybe I wasn't such a jackass for hiring you.
Yeah.
You're starting to hit home runs.
You're making me look good.
So then you're at the Dodgers, and they realize how great you are, and people are coming to watch you play, and they offer you $80 million for 7 years. $80 million, and you
how
say...
do you say no?
You say no.
Well...
How do you say no to that?
How do you say
really? It was a lot more complicated. Just negotiations kind of blew up, and there's a lot involved. It was just like I didn't like the way the team was going, the direction, and the way that the negotiations were carried out. It was just kind of...
And Tommy wasn't there anymore?
Yeah, actually. They just hired him back as general manager.
Yeah.
Was Tommy pissed at you for not going with the Dodgers?
No, it wasn't really a thing because I had one more year till I'm a free agent after this year. I could, sign with anybody if the Mets don't sign me. So it's kind of, it was kind of knowing that I could play for somebody after the year, but it just wasn't.
So as soon as you tell the Dodgers you're not going to take their crummy $80 million, and you're going to hold out, because you basically your philosophy is, hey, I don't care, I'll just hold out for more.
For somebody.
The chicken's scared of me. He used to go out in the field and stamp down and smash Dodger helmets and everything. I caught him I was going into the clubhouse, and I caught him walking. I put my hand on his throat. I said, there's my hat. Crush that hat now. Come on, crush the hat. He wouldn't crush it. I said, the next time you do it out on the field, I'm going to grab you right here, and your eyeballs are going to pop out. So that's my encounters with the, what do you call them? Mascots.
Time is called. They want Yuppie off the Dodger dugout. He's bugging the Dodger players, and Tom Lasorda is out. And third base umpire Bob Davidson is throwing Yuppie out of the ball game. He wants him off the Dodger dugout. Tommy Lasorda has put up a complaint. This will draw the ire of the fans. And they want Buck Rogers out to get Yuppie out of there. Buck is sitting down. Here comes Davidson running over, and Buck's going to make Davidson come over and say, what do you, or no, they're calling somebody from security over.
They're going to call security and remove him from the ballpark.
Wow. We've seen it all now, huh? Yuppie's been thrown out of the game, off the Dodgers dugout. Well, Bob Davidson is really hearing it. This is a first. Yuppie's been thrown out of the ball game. Yuppie has thrown his pillow. He had a nightgown on. He's thrown his pillow. He's thrown his nightcap. And Yuppie's been thrown out of the ball game.
For us to win, we got to take 25 players. 25 players. A coaching staff, a training corps, and an organization. I tell them if we all get on one end of a rope and pull together, we can pull the rest of the clubs with us. But if half get on one end of the rope, and the other half get on the other end, you can pull all day long. And all you're doing is pulling against yourself. And if it works off the field, why not on? We'll get you out of
decision to make, and I just don't know whatever you think will be best, John. I'll go along with it because I know you're very knowledgeable.
Click like, subscribe.
I forgot the appropriate thing to say here, and so I stalled. What I meant to say was condolences to the Lasorda family.